I started my nursing program. I'm a senior now, so I finished 3 years. I have 1 year left. My clinicals are kind of all around the area in all the hospitals. My senior year, graduating, taking my NCLEX, which is the state board exam for nursing, and then after that, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but at least I got my degree. I'd foresee myself having a house, like of my own house with my husband, starting a family with at least 2 kids, maybe more. Maybe being a stay-at-home mom, taking care of the kids, traveling. I really, really would love to travel the world and see new things and experience different cultures. I started because my friend started KOMA, and then she wanted me to join to hang out with her, and then I was never in any sports, so I thought, why not start with this? It just looked like fun. I don't know. Every time I watched everybody on the floor, I just wanted to be there instead of watching them. I always was a perfectionist. I wanted to make sure that everything that I did was like 100%, if not more, and I would put myself down if it wasn't up to my expectation. So it wasn't just in KOMA, but outside of KOMA, I always struggled with trying to figure out if I was doing something perfect. Like, it just had to be perfect for me, and if it wasn't, then it made my self-confidence, and it made me always self-doubt myself in all of my decisions. Probably the most impactful was that first day that I started leadership team, and I did it like in teaching and being an instructor. I never thought that I would see myself ever teaching in that kind of a position, and I ended up loving it more than I ever thought I would. And then it actually opened up doors for me in regards to teaching. Like, I just thought I could be a teacher and I could do things teaching wise, and I didn't think I would be good at it, but it just made me want to come back every day and teach. I would say it taught me a lot about self-criticism. It taught me a lot about responsibility, discipline, resilience, just being your own reflection of yourself rather than focusing on all of these outside external factors that everybody keeps focusing on these days, and other students or other people. It doesn't matter what it is, inside or outside of KOMA, there's always going to be that one person who's going to have that negativity on you, and it just made me more reflective of that as a teenager rather than learning it on later in my life. It made me experience it in a more like welcoming environment rather than having to deal with it on my own. I always came back the next day, and when I went to class and I started class, I would start with such a low negative attitude, mood, whatever you want to call it. And by the end of that class, my energy levels, my happiness, what we define as pleasure, was always exceeded. And so when I would go home and that feeling of quitting because it was too hard or too much work or too much time came up, I just kept thinking of that little tiny sliver of pleasure that I felt every time I came to class or every time I taught. And that's what kept me going. It was the best 8 years of my life, I would say. It made me feel like I was a part of a team, and then at the same time, it made me overcome a lot of the things that I didn't want to overcome on my own. Just my self-doubt, my self-criticism, my perfectionism. And it reflects now in my schoolwork and even in my other previous like careers and jobs and stuff like that. I just knew what I needed to do. I knew how to get over the emotions and how to step into this like responsible role. But then I also knew how to have fun and just not let life always get in the way of having a good time.